war on the drug cartels, an outspoken mayor's assassination. As US plans war on cartels, Mexico witnesses a big muscle flex. Why was Mexican mayor killed? And why now?
Well, this was the video that was shared on Mexican media of the exact moment when Michoacan mayor was assassinated in front of dozens of people in Mexico. The gathering was to observe the Day of the Dead festivities, where Mexicans celebrate the cycle of life and death. In the video, you can hear 6 gunshots, after which chaos and shock followed as the festival scene now became the site of an assassination. The man who was killed was Carlos Alberto Manzo Rodriguez, a Mexican politician who was elected municipal president of the Yurupan in Michoacan as an independent politician. As Mayor Manzo gained national attention after declaring a zero-tolerance stance against organized crime in the municipality. As a result, he received comparisons with the Salvadorian president Nayib Bukele, although he rejected this analogy. Carlos Alberto Manzo Rodriguez was born on the 9th of May 1985 in Yurupan del Progreso, the second largest city in the state of Michoacan. He was the son of Juan Manzo Ceja, founder of the first gallery for visual artists in the city, and who led a peaceful civil protest in 1992 denouncing a local electoral fraud. On the 1st of November, Manzo attended the Day of the Dead festivities in the historic center of Yurupan, a traditional Day of the Dead celebration in the city. At approximately 8 p.m. local time, while he was with his family observing the festival decorations and speaking with residents, he was attacked and shot 7 times. 3 of those shots struck him in the back as he walked beside his son. He was later declared dead at the local hospital. He was 40 years old. Victor Hugo de la Cruz, a member of the Yurupan Municipal Council, and 1 bodyguard were also injured in the attack. Hundreds of Yurupan residents dressed in black took to the city's streets on Sunday to accompany Carlos Manzo's funeral procession and bid farewell to the slain mayor. They chanted, "Justice, justice, out with Morena," a reference to the governing party of Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum. His wife promised to continue the fight he had started. Listen in.
Este legado no se termina, te lo juro, Carlos, que no se termina. Por nuestros hijos, por ti, por mí, por todo lo que me platicabas que tenías ganas de hacer. Te lo juro que vamos a seguir este pueblo junto contigo, junto con nuestros hijos, juntos tenemos que sacar adelante.
Since the murder, a lot of protests have been witnessed. A protest march was organized in Morelia, the capital of Michoacan, on the 2nd of November. Demonstrators chanted, "Claudia didn't listen and the government killed him." Later, a contingent numbering in the hundreds stormed the state government palace. Armed with Molotov cocktails, sticks and stones, the protesters forced the building's main entrance and gained access to the government office inside. They set fire to some of the furniture, threw other pieces down the street below, and dabbed slogans on the interior and exterior walls. The police deployed tear gas inside the complex to disperse the protesters, and the building was placed under police guard. Social media users have organized a nationwide protest for the 15th of November, which will include cities such as Mexico City and La Paz and Cabo San Lucas in Baja California Sur. The attacker was killed at the scene and 2 other suspects were arrested, Mexico's security ministry has stated. The weapon used in the attack was linked to armed clashes between rival criminal groups operating in the region, as per officials. See, Michoacan is a fertile state on Mexico's Pacific coast, and it has long been a key battleground in the country's drug war. In the 1980s and 90s, it was dominated by small-time marijuana and opium traffickers linked to larger cartels such as the Guadalajara and later the Gulf Cartel. But as cocaine routes expanded and synthetic drug production grew, local groups gained power. By the early 2000s, the Millennium Cartel, connected to the Sinaloa Federation, controlled much of the trade until splinter groups emerged, the most infamous being the La Familia Michoacana. This group gained notoriety for bleeding brutal violence with pseudo-religious ideology, portraying itself as a protector of local communities while engaging in kidnapping, extortion, and meth production. After the Mexican government's crackdown on La Familia around 2010, its remnants evolved into the Knights Templar cartel, which became even more deeply entrenched in Michoacan's economy and politics. The group extorted farmers, infiltrated local authorities, and funded propaganda to maintain control. However, widespread civilian uprisings, known as autodefensas, emerged in 2013, challenging cartel dominance with tacit federal support. The collapse of the Knights Templar left a power vacuum soon filled by new actors like the Carteles Unidos and the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel, sparking an ongoing turf war that continues to devastate Michoacan's communities today. Carlos Manzo was famous in Mexico for saying what few other politicians would: that cartels operate with impunity and need to be confronted with brute force. The mayor of an avocado growing region beset by crime and violence, Manzo suggested authorities should beat criminals into submission or simply kill them. It was a provocative message that resonated in some sectors of a country long afflicted by drug war bloodshed. Many here viewed Manzo with his trademark white cowboy hat as a hero, but his iron fist rhetoric and criticism of the federal government's security strategy also earned him enemies. Manzo acknowledged as much, saying he knew that he would be targeted by organized crime. He said, and I quote, "I don't want to be just another murdered mayor, but it is important for me to not let fear control us." The assassination of Carlos Rodriguez is just one of the many that Mexico has witnessed in its history. In 1994, Mexico was stunned by the assassination of Luis Donaldo Colosio, the charismatic presidential candidate of the ruling Institutional Revolutionary Party. Colosio had begun speaking openly about breaking the grip of corruption and reforming Mexico's political order, an order deeply intertwined with organized crime. Officially, a lone gunman named Mario Aburto Martinez was blamed, but suspicions have lingered for decades. Many believe Colosio's killing was orchestrated by entrenched political and cartel interests that saw his reformist message as a direct threat to their power. His death marked a turning point in Mexican politics, exposing how the web of drug money and political influence had reached the nation's highest levels. Nearly a decade earlier, in 1985, DEA agent Enrique Kiki Camarena was kidnapped, tortured, and murdered by the Guadalajara cartel, one of Mexico's first major drug syndicates. Camarena had uncovered massive marijuana operations protected by Mexican officials, and his findings threatened to unravel a billion-dollar drug empire. His brutal death, ordered by cartel founders Miguel Angel, Felix Gallardo, and Rafael Caro Quintero, as well as Ernesto Fonseca, sparked an international crisis and redefined US-Mexico anti-drug cooperation. The fallout from his murder led to the fragmentation of the Guadalajara cartel into the modern cartels that dominate Mexico today. If we fast forward to 2010, Rodolfo Cantu, the front runner for governor, was ambushed and assassinated just days before the state election. Gunmen from Los Zetas, one of the most violent criminal organizations in the country, was blamed. Torre had promised to restore public security and confront organized crime, directly challenging the Zetas' control of the Tamaulipas lucrative smuggling corridors. His murder was both a warning and a statement that even the most powerful politicians were not beyond the reach of the drug cartels. More recently, in 2023, Hipólito Chavez, the founder of Michoacan's Autodefensas, was gunned down in his hometown of La Ruana. Mora had risen from a lime farmer to a national figure after leading community militias against the Knights Templar cartel. But over the years, he became a critic of both the cartels and the government's complicity. His assassination, carried out by gunmen linked to Carteles Unidos, showed how little had changed in Michoacan, a region where ordinary citizens who stand up to organized crime still pay the highest price. During the second term of Donald Trump's presidency, one of his most forceful policy shifts against Mexican drug cartels was the issuance of an executive order on the 20th of January 2025 titled Designating Cartels and Other Organizations as Foreign Terrorist Organizations and Specially Designated Global Terrorists. In that order, he declared that certain international cartels constitute a national security threat that posed traditional organized crime threats, pointing to their role in flooding the US with deadly fentanyl, operating across borders and even controlling territory in Mexico. The US military has killed 65 people in recent months, who it alleges were smuggling drugs in the Caribbean and the Pacific, including several attacks off Mexico's coastline. The Trump administration leaders have warned of the possibility of US attacks on cartel targets on Mexico's soil. But the assassination of a mayor during a populated festival is just another grim reminder of what happens to people who stand up to these powerful drug cartels in countries like Mexico. That's all that we have. With that, a short break.
War on the drug cartels. An outspoken mayor's assassination. As US plans war on cartels, Mexico witnesses a big muscle flex. Why was Mexican mayor killed? And why now?